James Gustave Speth, The Bridge at the Edge of the World, Capitalism, the Environment, and Crossing from Crisis to Sustainability. Welcome to a journey through time and the destruction of our environment in the book summary of The Bridge at the Edge of the World, Capitalism, the Environment, and Crossing from Crisis to Sustainability, by James Gustave Speth. Dissect the harsh reality of how human activities over the past 250 years have severely impacted Earth and its natural resources. Delve into topics such as the dangers of relentless capitalism, the startling impact of climate change, and the challenges facing environmentalists and governments in their efforts to promote sustainability. This summary will provide you with thought-provoking insights into the current global environmental crisis and possible ways to address it.
Impact of human activities on the environment. The world has experienced a six-fold population increase from 1750 to 2000, resulting in a corresponding rise in water, fuel, and fertilizer usage that has damaged nature. Rainforests and ocean fisheries have been lost, with an increase in global temperatures, threatening the existence of humankind. Despite campaigning for the environment since the first Earth Day in 1970, global environments continue to deteriorate rapidly due to greenhouse gas emission, which leads to the global destruction of natural resources. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, warns of rising temperatures, flooding, melting icebergs, sea level rise, drought and declining air quality. Industrialized nations are responsible for this rapid decline, yet developing countries are the most vulnerable. To protect life, carbon dioxide equivalent, CO2e, levels must be reduced by 80% to 450 parts per million, ppm, through sequestering carbon, abandoning fossil fuels, and improving farming and forestry practices. Despite conferences and negotiations, the international community has not agreed on how to combat this crisis. Scientists and pragmatic solutionists urge for policy reformation. Environmental economics, a modern-day economist's answer. Economists promote growth as a means to prosperity, and capitalism is highly celebrated. However, the economy's rapid expansion wreaks havoc on the environment and ignores sustainability. In response, environmental economics has emerged as a solution to the market's failure to address environmental concerns. Economist Wallace Oates suggests that the market is failing due to prices that do not reflect the true value of natural resources consumed by products. The needs of future generations are not taken into account under the capitalistic calculus. While new technology has reduced energy demands, total consumption continues to rise. Corporations seek regulatory loopholes, subsidies, and tax breaks to avoid the environmental costs of their operations. This leads to environmental depletion while corporations and stockholders benefit. Government subsidies also encourage unsustainable practices, and globalization spreads counterproductive incentives and environmental degradation globally. The book emphasizes the need for immediate attention to this conflict to bring about change. Rethinking Environmentalism. Many environmentalists focus on incremental improvements within the current system, but the underlying systemic issues remain unaddressed. Governments are not adequately prepared to tackle global environmental problems, and treaties lack accountability. Despite anti-pollution laws, the U.S. continues to subsidize unsustainable practices and loses wetlands at an alarming rate. The current approach is flawed, and progress is impossible without fixing the system's fundamental issues. Therefore, environmentalism must rethink its approach and focus on challenging the status quo. Media's role in the environment's decline. The media's inconsistent coverage of environmental issues and profit-driven conglomerates buying news outlets have contributed to the environment's decline. Pundits blame environmental organizations for trusting the federal government, while a successful anti-environmental disinformation industry is on the rise. Addressing these issues won't be enough as capitalism continues to serve an ever-increasing volume of environmental insults. New technologies like genetic engineering and nanotech are assumed benign but may take years for complex problems to surface. Even well-versed lawyers have difficulty comprehending dense, seldom enforced environmental laws. Market-based strategies for environmental protection. Environmental economics scholars propose that incorporating the full cost of products and aligning them with government policies that promote the common good can significantly benefit the environment. Tax incentives for energy efficiency and cap-and-trade programs in America have shown promising results. However, setting environmentally friendly prices is challenging, requiring accurate information on the full cost of environmental damage and human health caused by producing and selling any item. The ultimate goal is to encourage businesses to take responsibility for their actions and ensure they pay for their polluting activities. Rethinking Growth and Capitalism. The book challenges the simplistic emphasis on growth within capitalism and argues for the need to prioritize environmental protection. Unbridled capitalism leads to ecological and social problems, making individuals prisoners of plenty. Sustainability is often interpreted in ways that encourage consumption, and the economic system fails to protect environmental resources. The book explores alternatives to this mindset and advocates for a post-growth society that prioritizes economic welfare, environmental protection, and social progress. The key to achieving this is to shift from GDP as a measure of well-being to alternatives such as ISEW, GPI, and HPI. The book emphasizes the urgency of action to avert catastrophic impacts and calls for a swift transition towards a sustainable future. Challenging destructive consumption trends. The need to challenge destructive consumption trends in American society is more urgent than ever before. The growing size of homes, waste generation, and energy consumption clearly illustrate this need. The Environmental Grantmakers Association recommends implementing green policy incentives, highlighting corporate behavior, and educating the public about green purchasing power to combat this issue. The financial risks of global warming have forced some corporations to pursue green measures, but voluntary programs have limited reach. It is essential to make corporations embrace productive change by reforming political influence, restoring liability, and changing regulations. To bring meaningful change, society must shift its focus towards social connectedness, adequate supplies, and nature conservation. Cooperatives, public trusts, and local initiatives can create powerful changes. Government policies, effective leadership, and citizen engagement can usher in a new era of environmental politics and greater social equity. Instead of accepting the status quo, society must embark on a struggle towards a sustainable future. It is a task that must be won, even though we cannot clearly see what lies beyond the bridge at the edge of the world.
James Gustave Speth's The Bridge at the Edge of the World is an enlightening exploration of the state of our planet and the urgent need for systemic change in the way we approach capitalism, growth, and sustainability. From discussing the various environmental issues, such as deforestation, climate change, and depletion of fisheries, to the shortcomings of various governments, industry, and media in managing the problem, the book serves as a call for a fundamental shift in our perspective and actions. It emphasizes the need to rethink our values, reassess the price of progress, and push for meaningful political change. Ultimately, this book summary provides a clear understanding of the central message. To avoid global catastrophe and secure a sustainable future, society must put aside its traditional notions of growth and success and embrace innovative alternatives to our current systems.